For today's video, we are gonna be recreating this Houston Kold 3D composition. We are gonna go through the whole process of the setup of this 3D scene and how to actually animate the camera. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so here I have a clip that we are going to recreate. These are the settings if you want to copy them. So we have to use vertical resolution. So just click this here, use vertical resolution, and the timeline frame rate is 30 frames per second. Okay, so let's get in our Fusion composition. Let's place it here and make it the same length as our compound clip. Right now we are gonna jump into Fusion and we are gonna bring our clip in just like this. Next, we are gonna go and close our media pool and let's add a background node. Oh, and by the way, soon I will be launching my Discord server, so keep an eye out for that. Now let's place this clip in this viewer right here. So what do we have here? We have like this floor and this wall that we can recreate in Davinci. So let's start doing that. Because this all is in 3D scene, we are gonna add a merge 3D. Let's place it right here. A camera 3D can go here, and a renderer 3D that's gonna be connected like this, and then merge over our background. This background can actually be alpha or 0. And first thing that we are gonna do is connect another background node and change the type to gradient. And then for our gradient, we can leave it like this for now. And on the first triangle right here, we are gonna go and click on this pick whip, and we are gonna bring it all the way right here. And let's click on our second triangle right here, take a pick whip, and just bring it over this color right here. Then we are gonna add our image plane and connect it to our merge 3D. So now let's add our merge 3D into this viewer right here. Now we have something like this, but we don't really want that, so we can go to our image plane, go to our transform right here, and on the X rotation we can type in 90. Now we have something like this, which is good for now. Next we have this wall up here, so we are gonna need another background node. So let's add another background node again. Go to gradient, and we're gonna do the same thing this right here. So take our pick whip in the first triangle and just bring it right over this color. Click on the second pick whip and let's go to this like darker like color right here. Again, click on the image plane and add it in and just connect it to our merge 3D. Now we have something like this. This for now it's good, but we can make it a lot better by going to our Z right here and typing in 90. Now it's how it should be. So black part is on the top side and the white part is on the bottom side. So let's adjust our Y a little bit to somewhere around here. Okay, next thing that we see is that it has this grid on it. So let's go to our second background that we have added right here. Click on it and press Shift plus space and type in grid. And this is the node that we are going to add. So now we have our grid. Next thing that we're gonna do is just decrease this major line spacing. We don't need it. And then we are gonna just decrease our column cells a bit. Something like 12 times 12 should be alright, I guess. And then we are gonna go to settings, and in our blend we are gonna decrease it. This looks about right. And the next thing that we are gonna do, as you can see, it just fades in from right here, and ours doesn't do that now. So we are gonna add in a rectangle mask to our grid. Now that we have our rectangle mask, let's get our grid right here, and we can then adjust our rectangle mask. We are gonna have to turn it around, so angle will be 90, and now we have something like this. You can make it a bit larger and just adjust it to this side right here, but now it just cuts off. That's where the soft edge slider comes into play. We are gonna increase our soft edge to somewhere around here, and then just readjust our grid somewhere around here. Okay, so let's see now what our camera sees. Let's bring our media out node and bring it right over here. Now it sees nothing because our camera is right inside here. We're just gonna click on our camera and take this blue line right here and just drag it out. So as you can see now, this is what our camera sees. But if we go to our media of his clip, it's kind of on an angle and it sees both parts of this. So we are gonna have to adjust our camera just a little bit. And for that, we're gonna click on our 3D camera and add in a transform 3D. Okay, so now we have to get it up into space a bit. So let's adjust our y-axis just for a bit like this. It has to be rotated on the y-axis, so somewhere like this should be better, and a bit on the x because it's looking kind of down for now. We can just take it a bit down again. So let's let our final render into view. Now we have something like this, but we can always readjust it as needed. So we can take our camera and zoom it out a bit more to somewhere around here. I would say looks about right. Next thing that we can do is go to the image plane of our first background. So this bottom part that we have created, and in the scale, just increase its scale until it covers everything like this. Now it's a lot closer to what he has right over here. Better gradient, so it's a lot blacker right here. So let's adjust that on ours as well. Let's get the whole thing into viewer and then just take our right triangle and adjust it a bit more. Somewhere around here. I would say that it looks pretty fine. Okay, yeah, it looks okay. And the same can be said for the top part. So we have to go to our background right here and again increase our curve area like this by dragging our right triangle a bit to the left. We can also adjust it by going like this and just changing the angle of our gradient to somewhere around here, I would say. Let's get this added in. Yeah, it looks a lot better right now. So the next thing that we're gonna do is add in these assets, and I'm gonna add them in real quick. Be right back. Okay, so now I've added the assets in. Let's see what kind of assets do we need. We need this guy right here. We need 2 videos right here. And then we need logos for Amazon, Red Bull, and Meta. And right here, we have logo for Amazon, Red Bull, and Meta. And we have 2 videos right here. And we have this guy sitting behind his PC. Okay, so next thing that we can do is actually take this right here and disconnect it like this. And add in one merge 3D. And let's add this like here and connect it to our merge 3D right here, and we can rename it this merge 3D by pressing F2 to BG. So this is our background, and as you can see now, if we add this in our viewer, it's still there, so it didn't disappear. And as I can see now, his grid is a lot bigger than ours, so we can go back to our grid, put controls and decrease the number of row cells to somewhere around 8 or 7 maybe. Yeah, 7 is a lot better, and column cells to 8. This looks a lot better right now. We can also adjust our mask a bit more so they're a bit more faded up like this. Okay, so now we have our background set up. So let's bring it right here because we are done with it for now. Next thing that we need is this guy sitting behind his PC. So we are gonna add that. Here's our guy sitting behind his PC, and we are gonna connect it to the image plane. We are gonna need a merge 3D again, so let's put it in right here. And let's add our guy in. So now he is right inside there. If we bring in our less merge 3D, we can see where he's at. So now let's close our media pool And let's see where he's sitting. He's right here on the floor. So let's go to our image plane. Let's go to our transform, and we are going to adjust our X and Y values as well as our Z value. And we are gonna scale him down quite a bit, somewhere around here. And let's bring him down a bit and a bit more to the front. We can add a little bit of Y rotation, so he looks a bit like this. Let's bring him a bit closer, to the camera, and just readjust our values again. So somewhere around here should be good. As we can see, right behind, he has his shadow. One way we can do it is just copy this again, put this over, like this, merge it over, go to the image plane, go to transform, X values, go to 90, and just bring it down to right here, and adjust it just a little bit to somewhere around here. We can check this lock XYZ and just readjust our Y value. So we can make the shadow a bit bigger like this, and let's just get it over here. So something like this should be okay. Next thing that we can do is just click on our media in, so right here, and then type in color generator and just go to black and take our output of our media in to the mask of our color generator right there. And there you have it. We have this shadow that's right below him. How we can make it even better is by adding a blur node. So just adding a blur node after our color generator and just blur it out a bit like this. And there we go. Now we have a shadow that's right underneath him. Next thing that we are gonna do, we are gonna add these clips right there on the wall. So let's go to our media pool. We have vid 1 and vid 2, and we are gonna add them in. We can rename them vid 1, and this will be vid 2. So for now, we are done with this, and we can select all of this and just drag it out of the way right here so we have more space to work with. Okay, let's add our vid 1. Again, we need our image plane, so just add it and connect to our merge 3D. You're gonna go to the transform of this image plane, and on the Z axis, just bring it front a little bit, and let's scale it down somewhere around 0.2 should be okay. Maybe it's a bit too much, so 0.17. I think this looks a bit better, so let's add it right here. Let's bring it up a bit. Yeah, we can go actually smaller, so 0.15. I think we can leave it to 0.15, or just maybe add a little bit more, 0.13. And on the y-axis, we are just gonna rotate it a little bit. So now we can adjust it to somewhere around here, like this. And we can actually take this image plane and copy it over for our vid 2, connect our vid 2 to the image plane, and merge it over again. And then in our image plane, just adjust our x-axis to somewhere around here. Next thing that we can do, as we can see, they have a drop shadow behind them, so we can add a drop shadow. Okay, now that we have done that, as we can see here, we have like these two shapes, and the easy way to do it is to use the shape system in Davinci. So let's just click here and then press Shift plus space. We can use S rectangle and add it in, and also we need our S render for that work. So let's put it on the image plane and connect it to our merge 3D. So let's get it out of there to somewhere around here. Let's put our rectangle now in the viewer like this, and then we can play with our width and height. So it has to be quite small like this. and it has to have a bit of a corner radius. Style, it can stay white in color, so we'll leave it at that. Then we can click on our rectangle and type in extrude 3D, and then we can connect our extrude 3D to our image plane and click on our extrude 3D and just adjust our extrusion depth like this. A bit of a bevel, smooth angles, and let's readjust it in our scene. So let's get his right in. It's right about here. So let's readjust it with our image plane right here. So we can scale it down quite a bit, somewhere around here. Let's bring it more up, it'd be somewhere around here. Let's rotate it on the x-axis and then on the y like this, and we can rotate it even on the z a little bit and on our x-axis, and it should be looking about right. So let's go to our rectangle right here, go to style and pick up this color right here. Let's go to our extrude 3D, we'll bevel just the front, smooth angle, bevel width. So we can click on our extrude 3D, go to our materials and just bring down opacity a bit to change a bit of color right here, somewhere around here. Let's go back to our image plane. We can make it even smaller as we need to bring it a bit further up and readjust everything. Let's get our merge 3D into viewer and just readjust it like this. So it went way past our camera, so we have to bring it back. I think it can stay somewhere right over here. We can actually still play a bit with its values right here, make it look a little bit better. So there we have it. We have this shape right here. Let's get this over to the side, and again we press shift and space and type in S ellipse, add it in. Again, we need an S render and we need to connect it to our merge 3D by adding a image plane. So let's get our ellipse into viewer right here. It doesn't have to be solid. We need a bit more border width, just somewhere around here. And then again, we can click on our ellipse and type in extrude 3D and connect it to our image plane. Now in our image plane, we are gonna bring it out. Let's change our rotations and let's scale it down a bit for now. Let's go to our merge 3D and just take it and put it somewhere right over here. We can go to our image plane and scale it out even further. Let's reset our X, Y, and Z. So first, let's readjust our Y, and then let's readjust our X to somewhere around here. Let's go to our extrude, and then just extrude depth like this. We can increase our subdivision and bevel depth, smooth angle. Let's deselect back. And in materials, we can again bring down our opacity a little bit, so we have these shadows right here. And then let's bring in the clip right here into viewer, go into our ellipse, and in the style select this. So it's a bit smaller, so let's readjust it and just bring it right here. And it has a curve right here, and then it's somewhere like this. Should be okay. We can go back to our rectangle right here and just make it a bit smaller, somewhere around here, and we can go back to the extrude of this circle and just extrude it a bit more. So now we have these two shapes, and we have our guy with his shadow. We have this right here. Next thing that we need is this right here, like this border, because that's where the text will be. So let's create that now. We're gonna get this out of the way right here. And what we can also do is disconnect these right here. So that will be our guy sitting right here and his shadow. Disconnect these two and just connect it to our background layers. Background merge right there. We can rename this merge to foreground. So this is a background merge, everything that's in background, and this will be everything that's in foreground. So let's go and create this right here. We are gonna again need a background node with the gradient fill. That's gonna be turned like this. So just click on these dots, handles, and just readjust them like this. The lower part will be this color right here, and the upper part can be white. Okay, we are gonna need an image plane for that, and we are gonna need to connect it over like this. So let's go to our transform and just bring it back to somewhere around here. Next thing that we are gonna need is a rectangle mask that we are gonna connect to our background right here, and we are gonna make something like this. And there we have it. Let's go to our background and get our gradients. So right here. So somewhere around here should be good. And let's get our alpha down so it's see-through like this. Let's go to our rectangle right here and increase our corner radius. We are gonna go to our image plane and then just adjust our Y rotation. We can increase the Z again and adjust our Y rotation a little bit, adjust our X, and then we are gonna scale it down just a bit so it can fit into our screen. So somewhere around here should be good. So let's play it a bit more. So here we have this text that's spawning inside our rectangle right here, and it's animating character per character. So we are gonna add that. Let's go and readjust our background right here. We are gonna add our text node and connect it over, and we can get our merge into viewer right here. In our text we have to add work with, so that's what we are gonna do. Let's readjust our text right here. We can change the font Montserrat and we can choose black. Increase size just a little bit so it fits. And we can increase this like this. Okay, so now how are we gonna animate our characters? That's easy. We are gonna just right click right here and add a follower modifier. Let's go to our modifiers. We are gonna set delay somewhere around 5 for now. Let's go to our text, and then here is our size slider. Let's add our clip right here. Let's close our media pool, and our words start from frame 1. We are gonna keyframe the size on frame 1, on frame 2, and on frame 4 it should be back to this. So let's go back to the first keyframe and just size 0. Let's go back to our timing and change our delay to something like 0.8. Delay can go even smaller. So delay, we can put it at 0.41, and then we have something like this. And I know it's not exactly the same, but this looks good also. Then we can go back, and after our text we can add in transform node. Just size it up a bit more and readjust it like that. And then after everything we can add a soft flow node. After our merge, just add in a soft flow. We are gonna reduce our gain somewhere around here. It looks nice, I would say. So let's see how our camera behaves. It comes in and then it goes up to somewhere around here. So let's animate our camera now. Let's go to our transform right here. We can just keyframe everything right here And also right here, let's go frame 13 right here and keyframe everything again. So our Z value, we can readjust like this. And now if we take a look at it, it will come in. So let's open our spline, show only selected tool, and take everything, select everything, and then press S or our keyboard to smooth it out. Now it will look a lot smoother. And then we can go to frame 15 and again keyframe everything and go to frame 44 and keyframe everything again. And on frame 44 we are just gonna readjust everything again. So these are the values on frame 44. If you wanna copy them, we didn't touch the rotation, so we should have just not keyframe them, but we can leave it at that. Let's go back to our spline again, zoom everything to fit 2 times, and we are just gonna select these last 2 keyframes and then press S on our keyboard to smooth them. And now we have something like this. It goes in and then it goes up like this. Now we have to add these logos and this text, and then we are done. So let's add our logos, media pool, Amazon, Red Bull, and Meta. Let's rename them. Let's add an image plane and let's connect it to our foreground. Let's bring it out just a bit on our Z-axis, readjust our Y values and scale it down quite a bit to somewhere around here. It should be okay, I think. Let's just get it up a bit to somewhere around here, and we can just copy the exact same image plane 2 times, connect our Red Bull logo and connect it to our 3D. Just adjust our X value right here, and same for Meta, connect it over, and again adjust our X value right there. We can also adjust a bit of our X rotation, -6. We can do that for all of them. So -6, and right here also -6. Okay, so what can we do now? As we can see, they are glowing, so let's add glow size and clipping mode none. And now when we try to adjust it, you can see how it's get out right over here and over here. Even though clipping mode is set to none, we can easily fix that by just disconnecting our logo, adding in a background node with the alpha of 0, and just changing the resolution quite high like this, just merging our logo over that background and then adding in to our glow. But because our background is now too high, we can just go back and leave it at this. So now when we get our glow size a bit down, it looks something like this. And when we change the apply mode to normal, this is what it looks like. So we are gonna do exact same thing for both of these. We're gonna disconnect it, add a background with alpha of 0, merge it over right here, and then just connect it to our image plane. Then here we can get our width and height up. It looks good for this Red Bull logo. And then after our merge, we can just copy this glow and add it in. But for Red Bull, it's a bit much, so we are just gonna bring it a bit down. Somewhere around here. And let's do the same for our meta logo. Let's disconnect it, connect the background, merge our meta logo over, and get to our 3D. How does it look now? It's too big, so let's go to our background and check color resolution and just make something like this, and go again to our background and make alpha 0. Again, we can just copy this glow and paste it after our merge node. For this, we can actually increase our glow somewhere like this, and our glow size somewhere around here. But our meta is darker color, so it doesn't really show. But let's see if we can adjust this by adding color generator. Here it is, and connect this to this, and then just selecting this color right here. And there we go, we fixed it. It has to be a bit more blue. Yep, it looks good. Now the only thing left is this text right in the middle. So now our node 3 looks kind of messy, but we can just go and select everything, get on the side right here, so we have space to work with, and then just add our text node, and we are just gonna copy this text over the ears. Again, we can choose Montserrat, bold, and leave it at that. Next, we need an image plane and connecting it over right here, and let's go to our merge right here just to see where it is. We need to bring it up to somewhere around here, and let's see now how does it look. It doesn't look that bad actually. Let's go to our image plane of our text, put transform, just get it out a little bit somewhere around here, and then readjust a bit, and let's see how does this exactly go up. So it just word by word animation. So on frame 18 we can't actually see anything, and as it goes up we can. So let's go to frame 18. That's when our first letter spawns. So let's go to our text and keyframe our right on. Let's go one frame back, keyframe it to 0. So let's go one frame forward. We have many right there. So let's increase our right on until we see the whole word and keyframe it like that. Let's find the next keyframe. So on frame 24, businesses pops up. So let's go one frame backwards and keyframe it again. Let's go one frame forwards and just add in businesses like this. Let's go forward again until we see the next thing word spawn over. So let's go one frame back, keyframe it, one frame over, and now we have this, and we are just going to find the next one. So frame 35, let's go to frame 34, keyframe it. On frame 35 we are just gonna increase it until we see the word and then years. So it spawns on frame 38. We're gonna go to 37, keyframe it, go to 38, and just increase it. So now we have something like this. Many businesses over the years. We can change this to Montserrat black. It looks a lot better. And also we can add it a glow that can be like this. I think this is the exact glow that we are seeing, and just add a bit of that glow right here. So next thing that we can do is go to our render 3D, change it to hardware render, go to our settings, enable motion blur, increase it to something like 5, and then we are done with our animation. What we can actually do is go here and let's just see. It has a quicker uptake than ours. So we can go to frame 18, go to our transform camera and go to our spline, click zoom alt to fit and select only the last keyframes. Pressing T on our keyboard, we are gonna go and increase our ease in something like 100. And now it should be almost the same. Yep, it looks okay. So let's close our spline. Also, let's just go to the image plane of our text, this right here, and just readjust it a little bit. And there you go. That's how you make a 3D composition like Houston Kold. If you want to learn more about how to use 3D camera in Davinci Resolve, then this video is for you.